Alright YouTube and Fallout community, so it feels like we haven't done a Fallout 4 video in a while, like a sit down and just talk about something from Fallout 4, not just news stuff, just an actual discussion. So today I thought we'd rank the companion perks from worst to best. Now obviously with a video like this, or a list type video, people are going to disagree because some of their favorite perks or companions won't be higher up on the list, but this isn't based on the companions themselves, it's based solely on just the perks. Because if it was based on bias or companions alone, Dogmeat for me would be number one. He's my favorite companion out of all of them in the game. Anyways, let's get into it. Speaking of Dogmeat, he's actually first up for our video. This is sort of an honorable mention, but we're going to put it technically as the worst because his effect is not permanent. If you aren't aware for some reason by now, Fallout 4 companion perks are actually permanent buffs once you get them, and the companion does not need to be with you. Different from Fallout New Vegas, where they only are working when the companions are with you. Dogmeat is similar in that fashion. His perk only takes place when he is actually following you. His perk is broken down into 4 different ranks. It's actually in the perk chart, which also makes it different from the other companions. But the first rank is, your faithful canine companion can hold an enemy, giving you a greater chance to hit them in VATS. Rank 2, when your dog holds an enemy, there's a chance he'll cripple the limb he's biting. Rank 3, when your dog holds an enemy, there's a chance he'll cause them to bleed. And then rank 4, when adventuring with your dog, you take 10% less damage. Now see, I really like the rank 4 to this because that additional damage resistance is always beneficial. The other thing that makes this not that great of a companion perk is because he can only hold one enemy in place at a time. The nature of this doesn't allow it to be an effective perk against waves of enemies. You usually fight more than one enemy at a time, so the fact that he can only hold one at a time isn't that beneficial. Now, if it's a really strong enemy, I don't even know if he can hold like Deathclaw or Super Mutant Behemoths in place, but if he can, then yeah, it's definitely a beneficial perk in that sense. So technically, first up, we have Nick Valentine, who is definitely a fan favorite companion, one of the best characters overall in the game, and he's definitely one of my favorite companions for sure. But my guy has an abysmal companion perk, which I happen to think is the worst one in the game. You have 1 extra guess whenever you're hacking, and if you get locked out of a terminal, the time for it to reset is reduced by 50%. I'm not the type of person who sucks at hacking the game. I'm actually pretty good at it. If I get down to one last, guess left, if it's not 100% guaranteed that I know the word, or if there's not just one word left, I will back out and reset and do it all over again. So the 1 extra guess isn't really that helpful for me because I'm pretty good at hacking. I guess if you're terrible at hacking, this could be good for you. I just don't see this being like one of the companion perks. I'm like, I just have to have this. Next up, we got my guy, my brobot, Codsworth. His companion perk is called Robot Sympathy, and all this does is give you plus 10 energy resistance from robot energy attacks, energy weapons. And the reason why I have this so low on the list is because for one, it's not that big of a boost, and it's from a specific type of damage from a specific type of enemy. And I just think that that's not that useful. I think it's because it's such a bad ability or perk because he's like the very first companion you come across, as long as you follow the storyline. But yeah, like if it was like plus 10 damage resistance, or like overall, or just damage resistance and energy resistance from just robots in general, any type of attack, it'd be good. Because as you know, a lot of robots have physical attacks. Fucking sentry bots will shoot you with missiles and shit, and like this won't help you for that. So like for me, that's why it's so low on the list. Next up, we got our green friend Strong. Yes, I'm calling out his skin color, fight me. He has the companion perk called Berserk, which adds an extra 20% melee damage if your health is below 25%. Now, if you watched any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I'm not a big fan of effects that require your health to be low, because that means you're losing in the fight, especially 25%. That means you're pretty damn low. So, I'm not a big fan of it already, and then it only increases your melee damage. Now, if it increases your melee damage by 20% at all times, it might make it higher on the list. I'm not a big melee guy in this game. I have been in the past Fallout games, but I'm not a big fan of that in Fallout 4. But the fact that your health has to be low for it as well, I'm not a big fan of it. Next up, we move on to another fan favorite companion. Hancock is also one of my favorites, just like Nick Valentine. They're both fun to have around while you're exploring just because their banter is funny. He has the companion perk Isodoped, which gives you a plus 20% increase in your critical hit earning rate if you have 250 radiation value or more. So you have to have at least a 1/4 or more of your radiation bar filled to be able to get this, and this is only giving you a 1/5 more each shot in VATS for your critical rate to go up. Now, you may not be somebody who uses VATS, so this wouldn't even be beneficial to you in the slightest. I'm the type of person that if I pay attention to my health bar at all, I'm getting rid of radiation at all times. I don't like to have it. I don't want anything hindering me at all. I want to have a full life bar in every fight I go into. So this is not something, I don't want to keep a fourth or more of my radiation bar filled up at all times just to earn a little bit more. Only every 5 shots are you getting that extra little tick on your critical hit rate to earn another critical hit shot. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of the critical hit shot. I use it all the time and I use VATS all the time, but this is just something I wouldn't use. Next up, we have our first woman on the list, and it is Kate. She has the Companion Perk Trigger Rush, which actually gives you a 25% AP regeneration when your health gets below 25%. Now, this is actually a decent perk, but the hindrance for it is that your health has to be low. If my health gets anywhere near 25%, I've probably already activated a stim pack, and I have the medic, maxed out, so like that shit gives me full health right away. So like this, to me, this is so not useful because my health is almost never going to be that low. It'll only be that low for maybe a couple of seconds, if that, to the point that I'm not even going to notice the AP regeneration. I am a heavy AP user. I use VATS, again, like I said, I use VATS all the time. I'm always using the critical hit whenever I get the chance. So if this was done differently, if your health had to be higher, maybe like 50% or less, I might use this a little more. But according to the wiki right here, it says, however, this perk has never functioned this way. When the player's action points are below 25 points, they regenerate 50% faster, which makes this perk a good way to recover those first few action points much faster if you regularly run out of AP. So, it's still not even good, even though it doesn't work the way it says, because it's only going to give you the 50% increase until you have at least 25 action points. So, it's still not that good. Next up, we have Currie, who has a companion perk that I actually kind of like. Her companion perk is Combat Medic, and what it does is, once a day, if your health gets below 10%, you can just instantly gain 100 HP. Now, this is actually a pretty useful perk if you're in some really hard fights and you just kind of forget to use stim packs or something. If you're not really paying attention to your health bar, this is something that can just give you an instant boost to your health that is very beneficial. Now, the two problems I have with this is, for one, obviously it's once per day. It couldn't be infinite because then you would never really die unless you got just hit with something really, really heavy. And then the fact that it only works whenever your health gets super, super low. So if this was like, 20, 30, 40, 50% health, you just gain that 100 HP, then it might be a lot higher up on the list. Probably definitely would be one of the higher ones. Next up, we got our first DLC companion, and it is Old Longfellow from the Far Harbor DLC. And once you make him hard in his old man pants, he brings along with him the Hunter's Wisdom companion perk, which reduces the damage and energy resistance of animals and sea creatures by 25%. Now, I've never got a confirmation on what actually counts as an animal, what actually counts as a creature. We pretty much know what all the sea creatures are, at least. So this is obviously a useful companion perk when you're in Far Harbor, because I think every enemy will count as that, other than people. So I'm not a big fan of things that increase your damage against certain types of enemies. I'm not a big fan of that, but this is an effect that is constant. So you can go back to the Commonwealth, and Mirelurks will obviously take more damage. Whatever else counts to animals will take more damage. So it's definitely good, and it's both types, damage resistance and energy resistance. So no matter what you use, it'll be good. And in a somewhat similar fashion, we have Paladin Dance, who gives us the companion perk Know Your Enemy, which gives you an additional 20% more damage against irradiated ghouls, super mutants, and synths. Now, why this is higher up than the last one is because, for one, it covers 3 different types of enemies, every variant of that enemy, obviously, and then it's a flat-out 20% more damage of any category. So it could be melee damage, it could be just regular damage from guns, it could be energy damage, it could be radiation damage, explosive damage. All those are increased against these certain types of enemies. Again, it's lower on the list than some of the other companion perks because it's only against certain types of enemies, but it is also, again, a constant effect, and it covers every type of damage you can do. Next up, we have the lovely Piper. And her companion perk is the Gift of Gab, which gives you double XP for persuasions and discovering locations. Now, this is a great perk, obviously. You're getting double XP for these things. The thing is, they don't really net you a whole lot of experience. Not on the level of killing enemies and completing quests, obviously. But the thing is, it's not anything that just outright helps you. It doesn't give you additional damage, additional health, additional damage resistance. You don't find more money in the wasteland. It's nothing that's actually beneficial. Like, gaining additional experience isn't really, honestly, that great of a fucking thing. It reminds me of, like, the perk from, like, Fallout 3 New Vegas, where you gain so much more experience depending on, like, your level or something like that. Like, yeah, it's a kind of a cool thing because you're gaining more experience, but it's actually a waste of a perk slot. So, I don't know, this is something that will help you. You want to do this as early as possible. She is one of the earlier companions you can get as long as you follow the storyline. The earlier you get this, the better, but in the end, I just don't think it's that great to just get additional XP. But if you have a goal of, like, getting a ridiculous high level or completing the perk chart, gaining more XP is really great, so I guess this could be good for that. Next up, we have Porter Gage from the Nuka World DLC. And his companion perk is Lessons in Blood, which gives you a plus 5% XP per kill and a plus 10 damage resistance. Now this makes it higher than Piper's, for one, just because of the plus 10 damage resistance. That's a good constant effect to have. And it also, you're going to kill a lot. Like, you're always going to have enemies to kill. There's not always going to be persuasions to do. There's not always going to be locations to discover. This is something that can help you in the long run of the game. If you're going for high level or completing the perk chart, something like that, this is something that'll help you more than Piper's ability would. And then I just like the plus 10 damage resistance. Next up, we have X688, which is one of the cooler companions in my opinion. His companion perk, Shield Harmonics, is very simple. It just gives you a flat plus 20 energy resistance. Now this makes it higher on the list for me than Porter Gage's perk because I'd rather have that higher damage resistance than to have that lower resistance but have just a slight more increased experience per kill. So for me, I'd rather, because like that extra XP won't matter if the thing you're fighting fucking kills you. So I'd rather just have this over that one any day. Plus 5% XP isn't really a whole lot, so say like an enemy would only give you 100 experience for killing it, you're only going to get 105 experience. So it's really not that big of an increase, and I'd rather just live longer in a fight. Next up, we got the Mungo himself, Mayor McCready. That's a reference you're only going to understand if you have played Fallout 3. His perk Killshot is very simple as well. It just gives you a 20% increase to headshots in VATS. Now this could technically be lower because not everybody uses VATS. I do, of course. But I think part of why, for one, I just couldn't find myself to, I can't bring myself to put it lower than some of the other ones we've already mentioned. But I remember the fond days. If you read the little bug down there in the picture, there was a time where this thing gave you an extra 2,000% accuracy for headshots. So as long as the enemy was close enough that you could VATS them, you were guaranteed to get that headshot. Those days were pretty fucking sweet, man. I miss that. That's one of those bugs. This is one of the bugs in a game that you just wish they never patched. This shit was busted as fuck, especially if you had a weapon that could get a lot of shots in VATS. You could just headshot everything all day long, and it was just ridiculous. So I guess it kind of makes it this high because of a little bit of personal bias, but again, it is my list, so who cares? But it's, 20% accuracy increase for headshots and VATS is just good all around, so there you go. Next, we got Deacon. This guy follows you around the fucking game if you were not aware about that. He's in the background a lot. He gives us Cloak and Dagger, which gives you an additional 20% sneak attack damage, but also the added benefit of Stealth Boys lasting 40% longer. Now, you could probably throw this lower on the list if you wanted to, but I'm somebody who likes to do sneak attacks, and then sneak attacks already give you like a 0.5 damage increase or double your damage. Plus, there's perks that increase your sneak attack damage as well, so you combo those with this, and you can pick off an entire camp of enemies without anybody noticing you. So this, I'm somebody who really likes to snipe and shit like that. I use silenced weapons, silenced sniper rifles, shit like that. So I'm somebody who's going to get a big benefit out of sneak attack damage being increased. I don't even ever use Stealth Boys at all in a Fallout game. They always get sold because they're worth a lot of caps. So that doesn't help me, but I'm sure there are people out there who like to sneak around with those. So you have that as well as the sneak attack damage increase. And surprising myself even, Preston Garvey is topping this list for a good thing. I never thought I'd see him on my channel at the top of a list because of something good. I fucking hate him, but in my opinion, he has the best companion perk. He gives us United We Stand, which gives us a plus 20 damage resistance and plus 20% more damage whenever you are outnumbered in a fight, and according to the wiki, it has to be 3 or more enemies. Now, can you think of any situation in Fallout 4 where you're not fighting at least 3 or more enemies? When you come across a super mutant camp, you're fighting like 4 or 5 of them, and usually they have super mutant hounds with them. When you come across a raider camp, there's easily 3 or more of them. When you're fighting fucking gunners, it's the same thing. If you're fighting the Brotherhood of Steel, you fight them in packs of like 3 or 4. You come across synths and they're your enemies, there's usually 3 or 4 of them. A random pack of dogs or wolves attack you, 3 or 4 of them. You fight typically 3 or more fucking Mirelurks. You fight a Mirelurk Queen, she throws little hatchlings at you. There's literally you even fight multiple Deathclaw a lot in this game, and sometimes there's enemies around them as well. So I really can't think of any situation in this game where you're not fighting that amount of enemies. And not to mention, you get an extra, you get the additional resistance to damage, and then you get a flat out plus 20% damage increase. And it just says damage increase. That's every type of damage there is. Much like we talked about one of the companion perks earlier that just flat out increases all of your damage. This does the exact same thing, but you also get the resistance buff. Now, it isn't entirely a permanent effect, but the conditions are almost always going to be met when you get into a fight. So for me, it just has to be the best companion perk. And there you have it, guys. My list of the companion perks in Fallout 4 from worst to best. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you put them in a separate order? Let me know in the comments below, or also with likes and dislikes, of course. Also, if you guys want me to do a video similar to this for Fallout New Vegas, let me know with likes or comments as well. Fallout New Vegas did have companion perks. Sadly, Fallout 3 did not, or I'd totally do a video for that. Anyways, guys, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro, later.
Till it comes to conclusions, all the things that we thought we were losing. I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place. 'Cause I want you to know that